Hello dear students, today we talk about famous scientific achievements and famous inventions of the 20th century. So I think you know about this person. As you guess, he's Albert Einstein, and proposed in 1905 by Albert Einstein, one of the greatest thinkers in history. This equation formed the basics of modern physics. This equation says energy is to mass the speed of light squared. Moonlighting. So Apollo 11 launched July 16th in 1969, and Apollo 11 arrived at the moon on July 20th in 1969. Neil Armstrong was the first man who walked on the moon. The moon landing won the space race for the US over the USSR. DNA profiling. The first use of DNA in a court case was back in 1986. Alec Jeffers, a genetist from England, discovered the technique in 1984. Today, DNA is used extensively in criminal cases. And now we talk about discovery of penicillin. So I think you heard about Alexander Fleming, who discovered the penicillin, antibiotics. So Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin in September 1926, and it was the first antibiotics of that year. Howard Florey and Ernest Chain were able to make his discovery usable in 1940. Penicillin helped fight infections and saved millions of lives and prevented millions of amputations since its discovery. Wright brothers' first flight. So Orville and Wilbur Wright piloted the first powered airplane on December 17th in North Carolina. The plane flew for 59 seconds over 852 feet. And they had been working on it out of their bicycle shop in Ohio since 1896. So, science and engineering sustained incredible achievements lately. We sent powerful robot scientists to Mars, and we discovered the elusive Higgs boson particle. Were world-changing innovations in medicine and material science. We sequenced a genome of a human ancestor and looked into the mind of an artificial intelligence that recognized the content of images on the web for the first time. John's Salk discovered the polio vaccine, developed in 1952 by scientist John Salk. 52,000 cases of polio were reported in the United States in 1952. By 1962, there were only 886 thanks to the vaccine. In 2013, only 226 cases were reported in the world. The Hubble Space Telescope, taken into orbit by NASA in 1990, it helped redefine the age of the universe. It will still be the service until at least 2014. The personal computer. As you know, the first personal computer, named the Program 101, was launched in 1964. The Scamp IBM computer was the beginning of the modern personal computer. Today, everyone owns a device that its roots in the personal computer, from tablets to cell phones. And we call them laptops. So the laptops is the modern shape of the old computers. Global Positioning System. Now, the first GPS satellite was launched in 1989. Developed by the military, President Reagan made it available for civilians. Today, there are 24 GPS satellites in orbit. GPS is still in use for both military and private use. The nuclear bomb. I think everyone knows about it. Codenamed Trinity, the first nuclear bomb was detonated on July 16 in 1945. During the World War II, the United States dropped into 2 nuclear bombs on Japan to help end the war. Nuclear weapons and bombs today are as small as a briefcase, and the larger ones 10-20 more powerful than origin because of the science. And now here you can see the pictures of rocketry, the modern rocketry, and there are 3 types of them. So the first modern rocket was created in 1926 by Robert Goddard, and the German army used the V-2 rocket during World War II, and at the time the most advanced rocket ever made. Today, rockets are the basis for space exploration. Pacemaker. So, regulating the breathing of the heart. The first implantable pacemaker was given to Arne Larsson in 1958. Pacemakers can be made for adults, children, even newborn babies. It was saved countless lives since its invention. Some famous people with a pacemaker include Elton John and Julie Boone from Modern Family. And Sputnik 1. The first satellite sent off into space, Sputnik 1, was launched on October 4th, 1958 by the USSR. It signaled the beginning of the space race between the United States and the USSR. Sputnik 1 spent 3 months in orbit before crashing back to Earth. Nuclear bombs. The third nuclear power was built on June 27th in 1954 in the USSR. Nuclear power presently supplies about 10% of the world energy. There have been 3 disasters at nuclear power plants over the last 35 years, causing the development of it to slow. Electron microscope. The first modern electron microscope was built in 1938. These microscopes use an electron beam to get their images. It can magnify up to 10 millions. Apple II computer released. Apple Computers was founded by Steve Jobs and was originally operating out of his garage. The original price tag of the Apple II was $1,298,000 with 4K of RAM and $2,638,000 for 48K of RAM. One of the first computers with a color display and had the basic programming language out of the box. First successful home computers, mass marketed and released. Here you can see the refrigerator, developed for the home use in 1913. The very first ones had to be put together by the customer. Refrigerators today are in almost every household in the United States, but not all around the world. So here you can see chemotherapy. The first use of chemotherapy was in 1942 to treat lymphoma, and it is still the main cancer treatment available today. And here you can see the transistor. Transistors began to be worked on in 1907, and in 1953 they became commonplace. The transistor is a key component in every major electronic device made today. It's used in everything from TVs, cars, computers, and cell phones, just to name a few. And the internet. So now all of you today know about internet. And the research began on the internet back in the 1960s and was called ARPANET. In the 1982, TCP and IP network calls became the standard and the internet began to grow. The internet, as we know it, became commercial in 1995 and has grown into what all of us use today. So here you can see the Mars rovers. The United States has launched 4 successful Mars rovers since July 4th in 1978, and the last one, Curiosity, landed in 2012 and is still operating. Curiosity has found evidence that there was once water on Mars. So the Big Bang Theory. George Lemaitre first proposed the theory in 19 27. The theory describes the early development of the universe. Today there are many different theories about the universe. Of the initial Big Bang theory proposed by Lemaitre. Integrated circuit. The first working integrated circuit was developed by J. Kilby and Robert Noyce in 1958. It combined electronic parts into one circuit. This made it possible for electronics to be made smaller. Today, integrated circuits are part of every electronic device we use. Compact discs, developed by Philips and Sony in the mid-1970s and made commercially available in 1983. The compact disc changed the way information would be exchanged. It led to the growth of personal computers and helped many different industries store information. So I think today all of you have an information about modern inventions of our world. Thanks for your attention.